Hello, everybody. This is Jason Samkoviak, and this is the Traditional Bow Hunting and Wilderness Podcast. This is a video I'm doing that's about knives for the outdoorsman. I actually did a full podcast called Knives for the Outdoorsman, and this is going to offer a little visual support to this. Now, to understand everything and get the full detail of everything, check out that podcast. I cover everything about what you do want in a knife, what you don't want in a knife, depending on what you're doing with it, blade materials, thicknesses. I cover all that kind of stuff. This is, again, going to be short and quick. Mainly just giving you some visual support for that podcast itself. Now, with folding knives, like I said, in my opinion, Benchmade knives are absolutely incredible. I've never broke a locking mechanism or a blade, or never broke a Benchmade knife where I've broke many other kinds of lock blade knives. Now, that axis lock system that's on here, what it is it basically, it's ambidextrous on both sides, but you pull that pin back, and then when you pull the pin back, the blade flips down. And you flip it up, and that pin slides up and locks. It's an incredibly good, durable locking system. I want to also point out on these Benchmade knives that you notice I use a thumb stud, not the thumb hole. Some of them are made with a hole through the spine where you can fit your thumb in and swing open. I don't like the hole style because it actually takes too much meat away from the spine of the knife, which is the thickest part, and gives you all your strength and durability, and I don't like that weakening up. So I don't like the hole in the spine. For that, I prefer a simple little stud, which lets you swing it open and, open it up really quick and easy. But Benchmade knives are, as far as folding knives go, in my opinion, the best knife that you can get for your dollar amount. Lightweight, durable, rock solid, and incredible knife. I don't carry them anymore at all for anything. I used to use them in my, as a carry knife. I had this one in my pocket all the time before I found and started using that fixed blade Azula. This one here, these I used as a skinning and field dressing knife. And one of the problems I found with using these knives for that was that, and actually you can still see some of it, I didn't even get all the way out of here, but when you're working with your field dressing animals, you get tallow and fur and hair and blood, and everything gets all caught up inside of every little nook and cranny of this knife, and it makes it very difficult to get it all out of there. You really got to scrub and work them hard to clean them up. So it just got to be a pain in the butt. So I don't even use them for anything anymore. They basically just sit in a drawer. But if you're looking for a folder, Benchmades are absolutely top quality, and their Griptilian line is well worth the money, and they're very affordable. They're about $80 for one of them, mini and full sizes. This one's actually a Doug Ritter special one you get off of his site. It's got a different steel to it and a little different design to the blade. Still, like I said, it's a Benchmade through and through. Now, as far as the fixed blades, one thing you're going to notice is I don't have any 6-inch, 7-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch knives in here. In my opinion, for what I do, I don't need one. The bigger and longer they are, the bulkier they are, and the bigger pain in the butt they are to carry on you, and the more apt you are to hurt yourself with them. And even some people will say you need a bigger knife to baton with a longer blade. I don't believe that. I'm not cutting branches, like splitting a log right down the middle, trying to make firewood. In my opinion, firewood burns as it is, round or cut. Doesn't matter. So the things I do with batoning a knife are much different and more functional, which I'll actually do a demonstration on that sometime. But as far as fixed blades, I'm a huge fan of fixed blade knives, and I mean that's all I carry anymore. This little Azula, this SE Azula, is the one that's in my pocket with me every single day and has been for quite a few years now, and it's perfect size. It's a little over 2 inches, like 2.5 to 2 3/4 inch blade, and I love it. It's lightweight, it's less weight than a Benchmade, and nice and compact and simple, and it's carbon steel. I like high carbon steel blades. This is all these knives right here are 1095 carbon steel blades, and I like it. It's a little softer, so it's easier to sharpen. It doesn't break. It's not very brittle. I've never been able to break a high carbon knife. People worry about them rusting. I've never had to deal with rust on them ever before as well. Now, if you're in salt water or something, maybe it might be different, but everywhere I've been, including this one being with me in Florida for 2 weeks, I've never had an issue with rust on any of them. But I like the fixed blade knives. Now, to kind of show you an example too, here is my Azula that's kind of worn and beat down. Here's a brand new Azula that I haven't even used yet. You'll notice that my black one, the paint is gone from it. What happened is I used it so much that it got the paint all chipped up, dinged up, and missing in spots that I just used some zip stripper and I stripped it right off the blade, the paint, and then I did a natural patina on there. That natural patina, you take a knife blade, here's a bigger one to show you, same kind of thing, but you take apple cider vinegar and you soak a paper towel and you wrap it around the blade and you leave it sit out on your counter or wherever for about 3 hours, and then you'll get these really cool designs. And it's a natural patina. It'll protect it from rust. Works really, really good. This knife, believe it or not, this SE number 4, this is my ultimate wilderness knife. It's with me all the time. I use this knife more than any other knife when I'm in the woods. And this one actually was the same color and looked very similar to this, which is my wife's number 3, her hunting knife. But just to show you how much it's used and what it's been through, it's been beat on levels that are unheard of. But as far as fixed blades, like I said, a simple little Azula. I carry it with me all the time, and this is also the knife I do all my field dressing with. I do my skinning with. It's nice, it's compact, it's perfect. Works like a champ. Like I said, it's one of my absolute favorite knives. This next one here, this number 3, this SE number 3, I would say is probably the best all-around do everything if you're only going to carry one hunting knife with you. It's thinner design. It's a little thinner than this one, the number 4. I can't remember what the measurements are. I think it's 3/16 and 1/8 inch, I think is what it is, or something like that. But this one is, or maybe this is 3/16, but this is a little bit thinner, as you can see. And it makes it a perfect skinning knife, perfect all-around knife, perfect hunting knife. It's a great knife. The size of it is perfect. I love it. I don't carry it myself. Like I said, this is my wife's hunting knife for her to have with her. And she kind of took it over because she liked it so much. But and the only reason I don't buy another one for myself is I'm very happy with my number 4, which you can see is very similar and very close. And even though it's a little thicker, anything I want to do that's thinner, I have my Azula in my pocket. So for me, these two knives are my ultimate combination. Always in my pocket, always in my backpack or on my belt, one or the other. But for me, these are the two that will do everything that's out there. And the next one too is this Becker BK2. This is what I call a camp knife. It's 5 inches long. It's really rugged and heavy. Look at that. It's 1/4 inch thick steel. I modified mine. I put some thumb serrations in there with my Dremel, give me a little more grip. I changed the grips out to micarta. Again, it's been skinned off, and I left this one just bare because it's, like I said, they get used so much, and I didn't feel like putting a patina on it. I thought it kind of looked cool that way, and it's you know, personal preference. But to give you an example of what this one looks like brand new, here's what it looks like when you buy it new. I switched the grips to micarta because they're a little more sticky. These work great as well too, but this was just a little better for me, and they weren't expensive. And this knife isn't even much money. It's a $60 knife, but this thing is so thick and so beefy and durable that you can out-chop. I can out-chop 7-inch, 10-inch knives. I can out-chop that Kirky machete that's back there in the back. This knife will out-chop that, and it's compact, but the weight of it and the weight of that blade, it's the ultimate camp knife. I could rip a car apart with this thing or build any kind of shelter or anything I ever wanted to do with this knife. It's almost like having a hatchet with you, but multifunctional and more functional. So for me, I absolutely love that knife. And like I said, the number 4, this one here, something in the 3 to 4 inch range like these, this is what you definitely want to have in a fixed blade when you're doing bushcraft work or wilderness work, or when you're truly doing a lot of things where you're going to use a knife in the woods. And it will tell you when it's time for that. When you find yourself searching for more knife than you're getting out of something like this, then you know it's time to upgrade into something of these natures. But like I said, this one here, I live in the woods. I'm in the woods all the time. This is definitely my go-to knife. It's with me for everything out there, and I use it more than anything else. Azula is a great one. Now I also want to mention in there too my sheath system. Now I make all my own knife cases for all these knives, and what I do is it's just Kydex, and I'll do a video sometime that will show you how to make a Kydex knife case. But what's neat about it is with them is I use my own lacing system. You'll notice how it kind of works. Now I'm left-handed, so what it does is it lets me use these as the belt loops right here and carry that knife strong side so it would sit right on my side with my belt right here through those. I also have these loops up here where I can run a rope through those, and I can carry it as a neck knife or around my shoulder or any way I want to. I can strap it to my pack upside down. I can run a rope through here to here, and I can let it be angled like this and carry it that way for when it's raining, or you know, if I'm in sandy stuff so I don't get dirt and stuff built up in the case. Very functional. This loop right here is so that I can just wear it dangling on my belt. If I'm just doing stuff in a yard, or if I'm just taking a little bit of a walk and I don't want to feed this through my belt and do all that, or if I want to just hook it on my pack, I can connect this right to a strap or to a carabiner. I got my wife's number 3 here. She just got that hooked right on there, put her knife in there, and it basically will hang right on her side. So it's just a real simple kind of concept, but I love it. It works really good. The paracord lasts me for a few years before I have to change it, and it's ambidextrous. If on my wife's, I can switch that around and I can make it go to the other side for her to wear on her belt. She can wear it strong side through here and here and have it tipped up or tipped down. Again, there's a million things you can do with it, so it's kind of a neat lacing system. I thought it would be worth mentioning in there for you. But this basically, these are the different knives you're going to want to use, some good ideas for them. And I'll put some links to some of them on there, but I wanted to point out to you, when you're in the woods and you're truly spending a lot of time out there, you need something more than just a regular $20 knife. None of these are really expensive, but it's the ultimate tool you're going to have. And sometimes, if it gets really ugly out there, your life may depend on what you can do with it. So, I mean, other than having a way of making fire, having a good quality, durable knife is incredibly important in the woods, and in my opinion, any one of these you can't go wrong with. There's other options out there that are also phenomenal, but if you notice, these all have a very similar style of blade to them. I really like this blade shape. It's really functional. I've tried a lot of them, and I'm just really, really happy with this style. It's simple, it's durable, the tips are strong that way. I'm just really impressed with these kind of knives, so I thought I'd mention them to you. And again, look at listen to the podcast. It's going to give you full detail on steel differences and shape differences, and the size for what to have. And there's more time in the podcast, so I covered it all in there. But this gives you a little visual support to some of the things I was talking about. So again, this is Jason Samkoviak, the Traditional Bowhunting and Wilderness Podcast. Check out that podcast at tbwpodcast.com, and I will be back with more soon. Thanks. Bye.